What's up, B2? Capital G here, checking out some brand new Thunder Dragon support that just got revealed in Soul Fusion, and I have to say, I am incredibly surprised by this revelation. We knew that Thunder Dragon were going to be getting a new fusion monster, and I was like, okay, it obviously works with Thunders, and I kind of thought that that was going to be the end of it, and that new Thunder monster is actually pretty damn good, but I did not see this coming with all of this new support, where now Thunder Dragons is definitely a full fleshed out archetype, and then even more shocking than that, this new support is actually light and dark based. This is actually chaos themed. I definitely did not see that coming because I've always associated Thunder Dragon stuff with, you know, the light attribute, and I think it makes a lot more sense why Konami also put that new Chaos Dragon in this set, Livonia, the Primordial Chaos Dragon. I talked about how that card was just game changing. It's amazing in so many decks, and now you've got another deck that can kind of abuse the hell out of it. So this Thunder Dragon support is actually quite impressive, which was also not expected. We got a second fusion monster that I was going to completely lambaste yesterday, but now this new support makes it look a ton better. Let's go ahead and break these cards down. So the first card up actually might be my personal favorite because it's just incredibly simple. It's called Origen Thunder Dragon. It is a level 1 light monster, thunder attribute. All of this stuff is going to be thunder attribute if that wasn't made clear. Effect monster, 0 attack and 2000 defense. It is a 1-for-1 target. Also, shout outs to Link Karibo. I keep telling people, whenever you get a level 1 monster, you always got to look at the Link Karibo plays, especially just like with this card, if the monster does actually float. The first and the second effects are both hard once per turn. The first effect says you can discard this card, then target one thunder monster you control. This is a quick effect, so both players' turns. That monster gains 500 attack. Okay, so this is like a little baby version of Honest. 500 attack is not, it's not world beating, but you don't have to attack against the monster, so you can, you know, use this like Kalut where you're just direct attacking, you're getting more damage. And the second effect makes it really good as well. The second effect says if this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, there's your Link Karibo plays, you can add one Origen Thunder Dragon from your deck to your hand. So if this card's banished or if it just goes to the field to the graveyard, it instantly is going to get another copy of itself. So even if it's the only monster you have, you could hypothetically normal summon it, turn it into Link Karibo, and then boom, you're not really losing any advantage. You're getting a monster on board, a monster that can stop an attack, and you're still getting another copy of this card. I like this, and all these new Thunder Dragons, all this new Thunder Dragon support, all of these monsters float when they are banished, which is actually quite cool, and I believe that almost all of them float when they're sent from the field to the graveyard as well. All right, we have Bolt Thunder Dragon. This guy has basically, well, it's kind of like a new version of the old Thunder Dragon, almost identical. I'm talking about like level, stat, you know, very similar effects. This is a level 5 Dark Thunder Dragon. Once I saw Dark Attribute, I was like, wait, wait, we got Dark Thunder Dragons now? This doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Konami's making this a Chaos theme, which I'm fine with. 1600 attack, 1500 defense. I believe though that is the original stat line of the original Thunder Dragon. The first and the second effect are both hard once per turns. Effect number 1, you can discard this card, quick effect, add one Bolt Thunder Dragon from your deck to your hand. This is important. Basically, you guys know how the first fusion monster, it required a thunder monster to activate in the hand. The reason that Konami's having all of these hand effects is so that you have more ways of being able to activate that. This is very important for this archetype. So this is one that basically can just search another copy of itself during either player's turn. So very similar, almost identical to the original Thunder Dragon. It's just a hard once per turn, but it is a quick effect, so that's kind of nice. Effect number 2. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Thunder Monster card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of Bolt. All right, here is your Stratos effect. This adds not just the actual monsters, but when we get to the spells and traps, it also adds those as well. I talked about in yesterday's video with the dinosaur wrestlers that Stratos monsters are always good, and they will always be good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever. So we'll definitely take that. So far, the first two cards are both excellent in my opinion. We got a couple more cards. These are the ones that are a little more niche. Avian Thunder Dragon, level 6 light thunder, but we need some, I guess, beaters on board, some monsters that can put in a little bit of damage. This is 1800 attack, 2200 defense. First and second are both hard once per turns. Effect number 1, you can discard this card, special summon one Thunder Dragon monster in your graveyard or among your banished cards, except another copy of Avian Thunder Dragon. All right, that's what I'm talking about. We got a themed monster reborn. I'll definitely take that to the bank. Effect number 2, if this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck, then draw that many cards. It is so important important that I point this out. Putting the cards back into your deck is 100% not a cost, because we know that if you ended up putting, I don't know, 3 cards into your deck to try and get a brand new hand or something like that, and your opponent Ash Blossom you'd be salty as fuck, and I would be as well. But it all happens and resolves at one time. So if your opponent ashes you, you don't send anything back to your deck. That's super important. So this is like an effect that maybe once a duel might actually work, where you're just trying to fix your hand, try to get some other combo pieces. The next one is Beastial Thunder Dragon. This one is dark. It's level 6, 2400 attack and 0 defense. So I would love the Monster Reborn this one, because it's basically like a kind of a monarch sized beater. First and second effects both hard once per turn. You can discard this card, add 1 Thunder Dragon card from your graveyard or among your banished cards to your hand, except another copy of Beastial Thunder Dragon. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Thunder Dragon monster from your deck in defense position. Also return that monster to its owner's hand at the end phase. So all right, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not completely loving this new wave that Konami's giving us, where all of these monsters and spells and traps, they all have effects that like special summon monsters, but they're all in defense mode. I talked about that in my for hire video. I'm like, bro, why are they making everything special summon in defense? But I think that this card is actually pretty good. I mean, being able to recover Origen, my little baby Honest, back from the graveyard immediately, that's kind of cool. And then when this card goes to the field, or this card when this card is banished or goes from the field to the graveyard, this card will float and it'll get me another Thunder monster from my deck. And actually, if I get an Origen and I have a Linkuriboh in the graveyard, I can activate the Origen's effect immediately. I can tribute my Origen, get my Linkuriboh. I could actually do this during the battle phase, which is nice. Then my Origen would just continue to float. That's pretty cool. Then we have a new boss monster. And this is a chaos themed boss monster. This is Aeon Thunder Dragon. The artwork on this card looks so magnificent. I'm actually very interested in playing these. This is a level 8 Dark Thunder Dragon. It is 2800 attack and 0 defense, which, by the way, let me just point out that Livonia, the primordial Chaos Dragon, he's also level 8. So could we have some Thunder Dragon trade-in plays? I think possibly. 2800, 0 defense. Cannot be normal summoner set. Must first be special summoned by banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard. Doesn't that sound like Chaos Emperor or Blackluster Soldier? Keep in mind, when you do banish the monsters from your graveyard, if they are the Thunder monsters we just talked about, all of them will float. So that's obviously pretty nice. Once per turn, if a monster effect activates in the hand, this card gains 300 attack until the end of the turn. Okay, this is okay. I mean, I don't think 300 attack really changes this card all that much. It puts it at 31. It's nice, maybe a little bit of damage. Effect number 2. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 card from your graveyard, add 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. I think that that's probably the more impactful effect, being able to, add this. Actually, this is going to add Thunder King Ryo if you want to go down that route. I don't think you will, but I mean, this adds any Thunder monster, not just the Thunder Dragons that we've kind of been talking about. That's pretty good. And also being able to banish from your graveyard obviously means more chances to activate your Thunder Dragons in the grave. It says during your opponent's end phase, you can target one of your banished cards. Place that card on either the bottom or the top of your deck. All right, so it's just kind of a way of recovering your resources. I mean, unless it's something really good that you want to draw, I'd probably just put it back at the bottom of my deck, just so I don't run out of my Chaos Dragon or my Thunder Dragon, not Chaos Dragons. I'm getting them mixed up so that I don't run out of my resources. But this card seems okay. I don't know if you'll run that many copies of it, because if you open with too many of them, I could definitely see it bricking. But so many of these Thunder Dragons have the ability to get themselves into the graveyard easily, like Bolt Thunder Dragon and the original Thunder Dragon. Those cards can get themselves into the grave turn 1, so you could possibly summon this turn 1. Then we have Thunder Dragon's new fusion spell card, which is actually pretty great as well. I guess you could really say this set is not called Soul Fusion for nothing. There is so much fusion support in here. Obviously, fusion has always been my favorite mechanic, so I'm never going to complain about that. This card is a normal spell, and it's a hard once per turn, Thunder Dragon Fusion. It says, well, both of the effects are hard once per turns. Fusion summon 1 Thunder Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling into your deck or decks. That means extra deck or your main deck. Fusion monster listed on it that are on your field, in your graveyard, and or among banished cards in your possession. That is so important, that it sends cards that are banished back into your deck, because that means that you never run out of resources. And when these Thunder monsters are banishing themselves, they're basically floating anyways, but it's kind of making sure that you never really run out of resources to use. It says the effect number 2. So during your main phase, except the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard. That's the cost. Add one Thunder Monster from your deck to your hand. I love that. You've got a Stratos built right into your fusion spell. That is fantastic. I mean, this card is really, really good because the thing I like about it is it lets you kind of use your Thunder Dragons to their maximum potential. You can banish them for your Chaos guy. You can use them up. You can use them for BLS if you fucking want to go that route. And then you can still send them from your banish to summon your new boss monster, which I want to talk about right now. This card wouldn't really make sense if there was only one fusion monster, in my opinion, because that guy relies solely on the original Thunder Dragon, but this new crazy boss monster does not. This is Lord Thunder Dragon, and again, when I read this card yesterday, I was so ready to make a video saying that this card is shitty. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, but it's actually like significantly better. So it's level 10, 3200 attack, 3200 defense, which is a nice little increase from the Super Bolt Dragon, which is level 8, and that one happens to be 2600 attack, so you're gaining 600 more attack by going into this. The fusion materials are 3 Thunder Dragon monsters. I'm loving that, man, because it does not have to use the original OG Thunder Dragon. It can use anything in the Thunder Dragon archetype. All of these new cards we talked about, even the Super Bolt Dragon, the other Thunder Dragon fusion monster that just got revealed in this set as well, all of them are fair game. Obviously, that's if you want to use your Thunder Dragon fusion spell card, which we just talked about, but of course there is a way of cheating around that by summoning it of its second basically form, or essentially its second way. It says it must be fusion summoned or special summoned by banishing 2 Thunder monsters from your hand and 1 fusion monster from your field. All right, this is pretty easy as well. First off, if you banish a Thunder monster from your hand as the archetype, basically all the monsters float when they're banished. That's not really a problem. All your monsters are going to essentially float, but obviously there is an instant fusion play as well. That was the first thing that I was looking at. I was like, is there a Thunder monster that we can summon off instant fusion to make this a lot easier? And sure enough, there actually is. There's one called Kaminari Attack. It's a super old card. I have no idea what set it's from. I'm pretty sure it's from the DM era. You can use instant fusion to summon that. This is basically another way of getting this guy on field if you don't happen to have your your Thunder Dragon fusion. So I think that, yeah, you can probably run instant fusion in this deck as well, just for easy access of a Thunder fusion monster that you don't really have to commit any resources to other than your copy of instant fusion. All right, let's look at these effects. By the way, neither one of these effects are hard once per turns. The most important effect, in my opinion, when a Thunder Monster effect activates in the hand, even during the damage step, that would mean Origin, you can destroy 1 card on the field. This is so impressive, and it gives this deck some freaking disruption during either player's turn. Obviously, you can activate your Thunder Bolt Dragon, which is just going to search another copy of itself, blow something up on your opponent's side of the field, disrupt their play. If your opponent's going to try to attack, you can use Origin during the damage step, or you can use Origin just before that. You end up getting 500 attack, blowing something up on their side of the field. This card is actually really, really good. Just that effect, and the fact that it's not a hard once per turn means as long as you have effects constantly activating in your hand, you can constantly blow stuff up. Next up is the 100 Thunder Dragons. It's a normal trap card that's a hard once per turn. Target 1 Thunder Dragon monster in your graveyard. Special summon that monster, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then you can special summon from your graveyard as many monsters as possible with the summon monster's name, but banish them when they leave the field. When a monster special summoned by this effect is in your monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except Thunder monsters. All right, this card is okay. It's basically kind of like a glorified Call of the Haunted for Thunder Dragons because it gives you the potential of summoning more than one. I mean, I don't know. I don't really think that it'll be necessary. I think you could actually run this in Battery Man, ironically, because you could summon like multiple 9 volts in the same turn in like the late game. Battery Man aren't supposed to get to a late game, but I don't know. It kind of feels like it might actually be better in Battery Man. I know that when this stuff is banished, obviously it floats, but I just feel like this card won't really be necessary, and it feels a little slow to me. And our last support card is a continuous trap called Thunder Dragon Stream. 2 effects. The first effect says your Thunder monster effect activations cannot be negated. This is essentially Altergeist Protocol, but it's even better because it gives you protection not just on the field, but in the graveyard, in the hand, where a lot of these guys activate when they're banished whenever. Gotta like that. No Solemn Strikes, no Ash Blossoms, nothing to basically stop your dudes from resolving. Effect number 2. Once per turn, if a Thunder Dragon monster is normal / special summon to your field, you can can target one spell or trap on the field, banish one thunder monster from your deck, and if you do, destroy the targeted card. This is just, I mean, it's okay. Like, it's kind of like a watered down version of Hunting Ground. I get that it can banish one of your thunder monsters from your deck and then they can float, but the problem with this card is it's a trap. Like, it's just too damn slow, to be honest. And I guess you could say it's even matchup dependent, because against like pendulums it would be really nice being able to crack a scale or something like that, and being able to get, you know, basically like a +1 at the same time. The problem is this really should have been like a field spell, or it should have been like, I don't know, maybe a continuous spell. I just don't think, like, you have to set the card and then you have to special summon or normal summon after that just to pop one spell. It's just a little too slow. I mean, I get it, it can be a +1 at that point, but just a little too slow in my opinion. So what do you guys think of the new Thunder Dragon support? I am very, very much looking forward to playing this. It looks all pretty damn impressive to me, and I'm surprised that it's now an archetype, let alone a chaos theme archetype. Whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.